It's unnerving. When crypto is swerving, your portfolio is veering down a deep black hole. But if you watch Road Dogg and you listen closely, he will help you gain control. Well, if you think this channel is groovy and you'd like to show your support, well, there are a few things that you can do. Find that like button, give it just a playful little smack, and subscribe and join the channel. And let's hit the like button now. Let's hit the like button now. It's just down and to your left. And you tap with your right. Look over to the side. Where you can join and subscribe. It's Crypto IRA. The real that drives you out. Let's hit the like button now. Let's hit the like button now.
She's trading all night, stacking her claim. Ooh yeah. Market's so tight, she's playing the game. Hey, says she's got that glow nobody sees. Ooh yeah. Crypto's her flow, wild as she please. Yeah. She's riding pumps, ledgers are thrill. Ooh, feel her jumps, gains her will. Ha. Oh, she's sweet but a traitor. Ooh, born wild, she's the raider. Yeah. Oh, she's sweet but a traitor. Ooh, market tease, she's a danger. Hey. She dives so low, then shoots to the sky. Ooh yeah. Hodls her soul, she's riding it high. Hey. Whisper coins are mine, chaos in tow. Ooh yeah. Crypto's her grind, watch her glow. Yeah. She's riding pumps, ledgers a thrill. Ooh, feel her jumps, gains her will. Ha. Oh, she's sweet but a traitor. Ooh, born wild, she's a raider. Yeah. Oh, she's sweet but a traitor. Ooh, market tease, she's a danger. Yeah. Oh, notice on her chase. Ooh yeah. Oh, gaze, fuel her pace. Yeah. Oh, traders her grace. Sweet but a traitor. Ooh, market danger. Yeah.
Crypto Turkey takes the stage at night. Featherless and shining bright. He's got the charts and Fibonacci lines. Calls the pivot points every time. Turkey in the camera light. Smooth skin shimmering so bright. Hot sauce dripping with the spice. Guiding through the crypto nights. Fluffing wings with style and grace. Glistening alpha butter on his face. His technicals are always sharp. Audience is hooked from the start. Turkey in the camera light. Smooth skin shimmering so bright. Hot sauce dripping with the spice. Guiding through the crypto nights. He defines the trends flames up high. Funky call into the sky. With every dip and every rise, he's the boss who
Check,
never
1 2 1 2.
lies. Charts and candles, he's the king. Quantum leaps and turkey swing.
Check.
Audience knows the master show. Crypto turkey's got the flow.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If this is your first time joining us this night, please do not be alarmed. You will be greeted by a turkey. Yes, a talking turkey, a featherless turkey. Please do not say anything about it. It's very sensitive about the feathers. Also, do notice that there is not a beak to peck you with, so this is a peckerless turkey. Please do not say anything about the turkey not having a pecker, and we'll probably have a good stream. Those are the cautionary warnings. This turkey does do technical analysis. This is not financial advice. We do not advise you to sell your house or your children to engage in crypto activities, although it does happen from time to time. We do not condone such behavior. Please fasten your seatbelts. Say your prayers, and let's proceed forward. Dang, man, that's pretty good. Hey, we ought to keep this guy.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like I'd say thank you very much.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Late Night Crypto with Road Dogg. Oh, my man. Oh, gosh, sheets. Oh, she gets me every time. Somebody forgot to turn some buttons off here. Oh, my goodness. What we got going on here? Fireworks, the whole works, all the works. And that was a little crazy, wasn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. What the? Okay. Anyway, welcome to the show. What? Photo surprises around here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're taking a look at Bitcoin. I'm on the 1 hour chart looking at Bitcoin, and I put a little poll up. Man, there's a real diversity of sentiment here as far as Bitcoin. Either people are being hella bullish, expecting a short squeeze, which is not impossible. It's not impossible. But how likely is that? Because they're being so bold to call these areas, you know, some areas around where I got are higher, that it's just on its way, like it's coming for sure. So confident about that. And I know, you know, part of it, I believe, is for the clicks and giggles or whatever, so that if something like that was to happen, they can say, look, we called the bottom, we called this way. But honestly, as far as what the charts say, like, baby, this is what's going to happen, I don't see it, and nary one of them has said anything other than that. The biggest thing that I think what is kindling this feeling is the thought that M2 money supply would be going up. In other words, they'd be cutting on the money printers. Now, if that happens, you know, everything starts pumping. But that's not really something you would see on the chart for a technical analysis, an analyst to sit here and say, yep, what's happening, right? Hey, better pack your bags now. A lot of these guys, in my personal opinion, are being a little bit overly bullish. Now, I'm not saying that it can happen. But I'm saying is that we are at a 618 area, which is known area of resistance, especially if you've been on the underside of it. So okay, listen. Do you guys remember when we were back here, you know, with this low, and we came up and came back to all this? Scary ass territory, right? But you start making, I'm going to make some rules to follow this time. I'm not going to get caught up in this stuff. So you look at the market objectively a lot more when you're down here, and you're saying, well, it needs to make a higher high, and then it needs to make a higher low. Okay. That form of thought. Okay. And that's what I've been telling. I'm looking for the higher high. Does this qualify? It technically did go higher than this little guy here. I was really looking for this. I would have been satisfied just to get up here and then come back down. And like, yeah, baby, listen.
But now we're at this area. Now we're here, a perfect area to put a high end to qualify. Come back down to these areas, about 88,000. I think that we could get back down there, just by what the charts are saying. 21 daily moving average is hanging out down there. We can go talk to it. We usually do on every other time frame, right? We touch that little guy a lot on every trend. 21 moving average. We're always touching that real red guy, going below him and everything. To think that we wouldn't come back and touch him again is just kind of a little silly, in my personal opinion. But I'm just curious. I mean, there could be a short squeeze. How far it would take us up, I don't know if it would get all those guys. The biggest thing that I'll be looking for, we talked about this possibility, you know, that'd be bullish AF to get all the way up here to this one, to knock this guy out for a higher high, about 102,000, maybe up to 104, in a little range there, and then come back. It's possible, and that would be awesome. But the way that people I see are looking, they think that this was the bottom, and now we're just going to come up, and I mean, it would be great. That is bullish. I'll get at. We come up here to make our higher high, and then we make our higher. That's awesome. But is it feasible? Is it probable? Is that what's likely to happen? Is that what has happened in the past? And I know I've been one of them bitching about, I expected us to be much further along in this cycle. I would probably take a look back at where we kind of were in a, not exactly the same type of situation, but quite similar. Back here during our distribution last year. Well, that was so fun with altcoins, and they just gave up all the ghosts. But Bitcoin was doing its little things too. There was the Bitcoin conference too, which I don't know if you know this about every Bitcoin conference that they have. That price usually does pretty good, but it tanks after those conferences. And I think we got one coming up pretty soon. And is it next month? Is it next month in Vegas? So we might see a nice little pump up there. I don't know what's going on in Dubai right now, but something's going on over there. And there's lots of arguments that you can make and everything, and I'm not even doubting that this is the bottom. I think that very well is the bottom, but I do think there's a good possibility to come back and at least test this little guy, and that would be healthy price action in my personal opinion. The chances of us, if we're looking at this area as a channel, this one's slightly slanted, you might be looking at it vertical, however you want to look at it. This was a congestive area right here. There's a lot of resistance right above us, right where we are. Fibonacci wise, other angles, other ideas. There's a lot of resistance right where we are. And, you know, but my rule is until we break the 9 moving average, you know, close a candle below it, start messing with it, you know, I got to stay, you know, we're fine, we're bullish. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that to possibly happen. Let me get this little guy. A lot of people got flags to the upside, ascending triangles, and all that can be valid. But I do want to point out this one thing, you know, we got all the rising price here. But if you look at your volume down here, it's falling, right? And let's turn on, where are you? The VR visual range, visual profile, takes into account all this stuff here. And we're definitely at areas of resistance right here. The point of control was coming in at what, 96.9, right at 97,000. That's probably where a lot of people are getting that $97,000 area. I got a little bit over 96,000 for the 618 Fibonacci. A lot of resistance there. So the chances of us knocking that out on our first go, to me, if I'm seeing past price history, when we've approached situations very similar to this before, is we don't get it on the first run. We would come back, kind of regroup, and then try to go for it one more time. That would make sense. The moving averages seem to suggest that. I'm looking here on the daily. Let's take a look at the moving averages here. And let me turn that big guy off because he's a little confusing. Make sure microphone is on and all that good stuff. Right. Hey, where'd the chat go over here? That's why I got you on here. My little tablet thing. I'm supposed to have the chat up there so I can see you guys a little bit. You're not giving me oh crap. All right. I guess that doesn't work anymore. So let's look at our moving averages here, if you don't mind. Do I have a blank chart? One that doesn't have a lot? Yeah, here's one. So here we are, 800 on the daily, 666, 360, and that's the one that we've kind of come down and touched there. We did that before, back a year ago, or last summer in August. We came down and touched it. Actually touched it, and then came back and almost touched it again there, just like, well, I just want to double test, just double try, and check you out. Here was the instance last time when we came up and we made our higher high. I want to take a look at that. Where did you go to? You actually did go a little bit above your 618. Not quite touching the 786, and then coming back down to these areas before. And then we started slowly coming out of this, and then really booking it. And the way it makes it sound right now is like everybody's expecting this, like tomorrow or the next day or next week, anytime. Flag to the up. I'm seeing so many things like that. Flags inside of a flag. We got so many flags. We're just flagging everything, and that's cool if that's the only pattern. That's your go-to pattern. That's mostly what you see, mostly what you play. You might have a little bit of a bias there. If that's all you see is flags and cup and handles, or if that's all you're being taught to see. But areas of resistance, I mean, that's extremely important. And basically, the best you can just eyeball it and draw it out with your trend lines. That just says, man, we got a good chance to come back. To me, I mean, the bigger momentum is still there. Don't get me wrong, but the little guys, the 50 moving average, the 21. They're below the 200 still. The 100 is still coming in and closing in on that 200 like it wants to flip it bearish. Hasn't done it yet. She was looking like she wanted to curve just a little bit. Now she's kind of changing her mind. You got to keep your eyes on these guys. But the trajectory of this is for a bearish cross, unless there is a massive move that just shoots them all up. So there would have to be a huge amount of liquidity just to suddenly come in, and that could happen. It would have to be big news, I would think, like a big nation state. I don't know. Even MicroStrategies has announced that they bought some more Bitcoin, but we're still under 95,000 right now. And so I try not to pay. I listen to some other YouTubers. Some of them are just best not to listen to, because some of them are just kind of silly out there. They're just all about selling a group or something like that. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. But I just see some crazy stuff, and even that's I said flags to the upside. I'm like, I don't mean to bitch about it. Now, an ascending triangle, it's a little bit more level over here. And I mean, wherever you connect your dots, you got something. It's the guys that kind of put triangles out there before there was anything to connect dots to get the shapes out and everything. That kind of shows a bias, but even see it coming out today, I kind of said, oh shoot, I should have seen that coming. And you're trying to do this, look, this is a flag to the upside. I think I bitch about this a lot, but I don't know. Teaching people that I just think that's misleading to people, to new people. The people that have been in this quiet for a while now, hey man, that's kind of sketch. I'm just saying. What actually happened there is that you had a trend line. I don't see these guys looking at trend lines very much. I love trend lines. Trend lines tell you so much. Lose it, something's going on. We coming back up for a bearish retest of this area here. It's what it looks like. You ain't got a Fibonacci or anything out. I'm going by my moving averages and trend lines right here, just to tell you on the 15-minute what I see. Rejection point here. The 50 is crossed bearishly over the 100. If you can see it, it's underneath it. Now they're traveling together. Eventually they might do something, but right now it says, hey, we'll probably come back down. Just on the 15-minute chart kind of says that, meaning that this little horizontal area that we're looking at on the bigger picture, remember, this is still an active resistance area. So is this trend line too, now that we've broken it, right? And chances are we come back up to this little area here. That would be the breakout theory. We could come up there and come down. That's the rule of thumb to look for. Might not even make it up there. So it seems like we might be getting some rejection and coming back down. And we're basically what we're doing. I mean, we're just accumulating consolidating beneath a pivot point. And to me, that's a cautionary area of resistance and possibly coming down rather than let's celebrate, we're getting ready to break out. But because now let's think about this. Let's go back to that 618 Fibonacci idea. I'm just airing my points out and everything. And I know my title says 21 meme coins or something, right? We will be going through some meme coins. My idea is, now I know meme coins are starting to pump, but if we do get a pullback on Bitcoin or even altcoins, they could get juicier, and I can see some possibilities for some meme coin plays. And I can't believe I'm saying that too much out loud, but I am. But I got a list of them right here, and we're going to try to see if we can find some setups, maybe even for some short ideas down, or for some, better entries to play this and, try to make a good 10x or so out of some of these meme coins, because some of them are in a place where they can do that. Some of them are some juicy places where you wished you'd gotten in on at the prices that they were, back in December or November or something like that. You're like, man, I wish I had a chance to get in that early. Of course, they made lots of money. They bought it cheap. Well, there's some right now that are at those juicy spots, and I want to start looking for some of them guys. I'm not mainly a meme coin channel, but that's what we're going to be looking at tonight, because things come in groups here, the narratives. And if you haven't noticed, the meme coins have not died, but there's some strong communities and some money tied up in a lot of the popular ones. I'm going to look at those popular ones. I don't give a rat's ass about any new meme coin coming out. They'd have to prove themselves and build a community and do all that stuff. I'm not about chasing the new ones. They just all seem to die mostly. But the ones that still got their community and everything, they're worth looking at. Miro is one that's very on the low I want to take a look at. I was looking today and I was like, she got up to like 39 cents, right? And she's at what, 2 cents right now? Could that be a 20x? I mean, and I'm not talking about, I want to put $5,000 in on Miro. No, I'm like talking maybe $50 or something, $100 maybe at the most, something like that. And you get a 20x out of that. That's not bad. With money you don't mind losing on a freaking meme coin. But there's very few cryptos out there that have legitimate substance. They all have a lot of hype, though. At least with a meme coin, you know that, well, nothing but the hype and the community. All right, so in my personal opinion, I think we're getting set up just by what my moving average. I mean, she looks good now, and I'm not doubting that we couldn't even go up just a wee bit higher. Just a smidgen higher. Get you all bullish up and say, I told you we're going to break to the upside, and hello, 88,000. There's a gap here, if you haven't noticed. Do you see that nice bit in the 4-hour candle? Just how we went straight up. Just wow, man, that's amazing. What happens when we do that, when we get those big straight up moves like we had over here, well, we come back down to them, guys, don't we? Even if it takes us a minute to do it. This was resistance too, by the way. And we consolidated beneath it, and what eventually happened is that, well, we came down anyway. That seems to be a nice little story and happening when you consolidate beneath resistance. The point I was going to make, what I was trying to do before I got distracted there, was, let's say that we do flag to the upside, even though that's not a greatest flag pattern in my personal opinion. This one was kind of nice down here. This was kind of cute. That was kind of cute. But I mean, I do see a lot of people going through this idea. And, drawing the little thick post. And maybe you could get another one. If you did, it would be a short one. And again, this would be the toppy area. It might be lucky and get up here. I'm not going to say that it can't happen. But what I will say is that if you're trying to take this big ass measured move right here, you'll probably be disappointed. I'm willing to go out there just based on Elliott wave theory. Although you do suggest that we could go up to the 886 at 105,000. Not off the table, but not as likely the way price action usually plays out. I'm just saying, when it comes to the flags. If you haven't learned it now and you see your flag, you'll figure it out in time. It's like, why is my measured move not hitting? He thought it was going here, and it didn't. He said it was going like 15 different places because he's putting flags on every different time frame with every different target. It's easier to pick out the ones that work that way. I don't know. I don't know what their thinking is on some of this stuff. I think some people just do it just to do it. Just to have something to say to make them look important, like they know what's going on. Nobody knows for sure what's happening in the market. We don't. We've got some good guesses and everything, but when I start hearing the overly bullish one, I'm like, well, what's your argument behind it, though? The TA, the way one of my mentors explained it to me is that it's like you're a lawyer approaching the bench at court. And you got to convince that judge, and you need to present your evidence. What's your case? What's your reason? Why do you think that this is going to play out? Well, that's easy. It's a flag to the upside. That's something. But if the glove don't fit, you must have quit. And there's some other areas that you need to consider too, like the other things we talked about. The resistance of the 618. All right, but my thing was, if we do come up, the safer play would be the more conservative idea for buying breakouts when you're at a high, and that's to wait for confirmation. If she did break up, she would come back and retest this area just not far from where we are now. So, and what that means is that you're faced with a situation here. It's like, I need to buy everything I can right now. I'm going to go full port right now and go to the upside because it's getting ready to break out. And then it doesn't, and then you bought the top. However, if it comes up and it does break that level, you can damn sure bet that she's gonna stick around there. I don't think she's just gonna go, see you guys, been nice knowing you, I'm going to 130,000 now, I'll send you a postcard. We're probably going to come back and talk to it, and then you can get in and continue up. Then you're not on the losing trade. You're not going into the negative like you would over here, dropping whatever that would be on perpetual futures. I went 100x and it took me down 700%. A 7% drop can turn into a lot. 70% if you're on 10x. That could be that's excruciating. But I find this interesting. I find some of the trade setups I see them do too. Like I saw a 4-hour trade setup based on this one right here. I'm not ditching it, but I mean, dude got into the trade like 2 days ago at 95,000. I'm like, well, what was your trigger? Why did you what made you want to get into that flag to the upside and have a stop loss at 91,000, which would, at a 10x or 11x, man, take a nice 33% of your money that you're wagering right there. Especially if you're not going to let the trade play out, because a lot of times they'll put a nice trade setup. Are you going to bitch or are you going to look at meme coins? Oh my God, I'm getting distracted, aren't I? But I see some of these things, and okay, it may look pretty. Oh look, it's only 3%. On spot, yeah, that's not bad. On 11x leverage, that's 30% or more. You remember, you got in over here at 95. Yeah, that's almost 40%. Oh man, sucks to be you. So you get something like this that maybe has a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio if you're lucky. Let's just say it was a 3. But if you just jump out, because we got up and you made your first $100, you're putting out a $2,000 trade of your money to make $100. So the rule of the game is to try to get the most highly probable setups to enter that you can. That way you have better luck. Longing at a resistance area like this is not a high probability trade. It could pay off good if you're right, but that one's high risk in my personal opinion to jump in here. Not saying that I wouldn't put a little and try a trade with stop losses. A lot tighter than that though. I mean, my gosh, I don't want to put $1,000 in and lose $300 just so I can, oh look, I can jump out with $100 profit. Some of these people making these trades, they don't let things go to fruition. They're jumping out at the first thing, and you don't know about it, but they'll take your $99 a month anyway. Look, if you've been with me, you made money, and all these things. All right, so just some ideas here. So I'm going to come back to the poll, see what you guys think. We're getting onto some meme coins. 23 people hanging out with me. Let me say hello to you. Sorry, I got on a little rant there for the last 30 minutes. I'm just saying the first half of the show is me ranting. Mod as well. Let's come in and see what our poll says. 50-50, kind of a little. Are we squeezing to 100K or more? Or are we going back toward 90K? It's a split, right? It's a split. That's fair enough. So I got 22 votes, 21 people. We lost one, Helen. You're supposed to lock the door, Sean. Let's go ahead and end that poll. It's a 50-50 split. So we got Sin, Glittering Marshmallow, Soul, how's it going? Road Glide, Board PC, Chris Clyde, Joe from Trade Intuition, fellow YouTuber. Go check him out. Check out his channel and his music as well. Floki's Angel Strega, how's it going? Chris Klein, I may say your name twice, 3 times. Make sure we say hello to everybody here. Ave Medina. Does that show up when I put? No, it doesn't, does it? Joe says, Road Dogg, we love the stories. Was I telling a story? Road Dogg just got off topic is what it is, but I just know this. I know this, that when we're down here, it's like, you know, we start doing good and start getting our higher highs, higher. When we get up around these areas, we're going to see everybody say that we're going to the moon. I remember saying that distinctly because that's how this works. The sad thing is I think this is why it's kind of hard. It's important when you're down at these areas and you're making these plans to maybe write them down or document them some way, because the sentiment starts changing and you start changing your perspective too. Like, oh, it could be. It is a flag to the upside. It might. We're getting ready to. I can see a short squeeze happening. They're going to turn on that money printer. It's going to go. And then all the plans that you're making to take profit here, so you can buy lower, you just give it back to the market, and then you come down and what you got. That's happened to me more than once, my dear friends. It has. And that's the trap to fall into. So rather than me looking at these little flags and flags to the upside, did I erase something important? Yeah, that's how I lose my indicators. I erase my moving averages there. So rather than doing that, and I was, you know, not only that, there's one guy who's notorious for a flag to the upside, but there's some other people that I think kind of watch him too. But I kind of noticed, and you know, on bigger channels and things like that, I started to notice them doing some of that stuff too. I'm like, oh man. But here, how about this idea? What if we draw a trend line? Just a simple trend line. That bottom to this bottom. Now we got something. I've got something a little bit more tangible that I can make a little bit more sense to me than it's a flag to the upside, you know, or because the same people telling you that it's a flag to the upside and we're getting ready to short squeeze are also in that same breath saying, but it's also a shoulder ahead and a shoulder to the downside. So, I mean, okay, Kimosabi, which way is it? Oh, you're right both ways, right? Yay. Yeah. Sorry about that. But I mean, that's what you're, and is it a shoulder, head and shoulder? Honestly, when you start drawing patterns, I mean, you start with what you first got, and you got these, right? So I like to trace that, and then you start, well, I'm going to connect the other dots. And what's this? What the hell am I looking at? Well, that's all confusing as all get out. So you start connecting more dots and adding more as the patterns as they develop, right? So we could say we definitely got a trend line here, and we could be coming back down to this area at 93.4, or at least that's an area that it might come down and possibly find support. It does not have to. Look, the 200 moving averages. See how this stuff kind of works together? 200 moving averages coming down there too. So that gives us a little idea. So this guy, so technically we're in one of these. I mean, if we wanted to play by the rules of connecting the dots and looking at the patterns by scaling out, you would be in a bearish megaphone pattern, which forms a partial incline, where it goes up to a certain point and it can't get past it, and then it starts working on its way down. That would be one way to interpret. Some other people will take this pattern wise, and I'm sure you'll see a variation of all this, and all of it's correct as long as you got 3 touches on one side, 2 on the other. This one does, by the way, now, because we don't have 3 touches down here yet. there now we're getting into some more symmetrical triangle, which if you know me, I hate symmetrical triangles because you can't trust them as far as you can throw them. They like to do the rabbit run. They'll break out on both sides at the same time if they could do it. They'd be in two places at once if they could. And then you've also got the idea of the people not looking at that at all, and they're going to be seeing, you know, not just people. I mean, there's bots out there programmed to do this stuff too, to trade however the bot owners want them to trade, program them to do that. So you could be looking at an idea like this, a bearish, a head and shoulders reversal pattern. Maybe not. When they start slanting, I don't pay attention to them as much. The best ones are more level. That's the ones that play out either way. Bullish or bearish, inverted or regular. When they're more level, that's when you get the better results. And when these guys are lower than this one over here, that's when you get better results. Right now, really what you have is a series of higher lows. And then we started making some lower lows and start squeezing. The other idea that you got that a lot of people do, and I don't like this much because sometimes I've seen them and they will be out perfect. Candle bodies made perfectly straight in a row. That's impressive. But most of the time, there's a little gaps and it's a little bit, well, let's squeeze our eyes, let's cheat, and let's just kind of imagine that we got something there. But we do have some touches. It's an idea of a level top here. And that makes an ascending triangle. Now, there's two ways to look at an ascending triangle. They can be reversals. They can. Ascending triangle has a 63% chance to break to the upside. It's a continuation pattern, and that's where the ideas come from. Now, here's where it gets different, though. Ascending triangle, the measure move is just the width of the triangle. Well, there you go. And then what happens with that is that, well, then we start going back to this guy. Remember this guy that we started out with, that angle? Ascending triangles turn into ascending channels, which are still bearish. But what you see what you will see right now is some people will take, you know, these big measure moves. I've even seen one take it all the way back down here. I don't know why. And play this as a flag. So what is it? Is it ascending triangle, continuation pattern, or is it a bull flag to the upside with the crazy targets that takes us up to 107, 108,000? Could be there by May. Oh my God. What gives me, people put this when price hadn't broke out there, price hadn't broke out anywhere, put it over here, so it could be there and go by the time thing. I'm just trying to point out some little things that some of you guys may not see. Some of you might see it and think, what? It might be in the back of your mind, why is he saying this? For other people that you'll watch, these are just some things just to, I don't know, help you think. That way you can form your own decisions. The best TA that's out there for you individually is your own. But you've got to make your own decisions in this market. And if you come out here and you get too many people that are too wrapped up in their ego or emotions that are presenting this stuff, you're going to be led astray because they're being led astray by their ego and emotions. We're supposed to take that out of trading. And so the only thing that makes sense is just the rules of the game. And the rules of the game say, until we get above this 618, we got a good chance of getting rejected here. And so I will be looking for some top patterns. Is this it? Is that it? I think we're in a more of a distribution. It'll probably let me say this. If we were mega bearish, we would have already been rejected and come down. So it is bullish that we're staying up here, but it could, with the low volume, because volume is decreasing, it may be more like a little distribution type thing, you know? And I wish I had another example. Oh, shut up about Bitcoin. Let's go to the meme coins. That's what you promised anyway. I know I got on Bitcoin here. But the reason that I'm spending so much time on Bitcoin is because that determines how well that the meme coins and everything else is going to do. Because when this one dumps, the meme coins are going to dump too. My biggest argument that we would be coming down is going to be these moving averages down here. I don't know that we'll come back to 85. That's possible. Come back and retest the breakout area. It's possible. I don't know what we'll be playing. And I will say, yeah, I mean, normally at this point in the market and 4-year cycle, we should be like just going straight up, and we're not. So there's two possibilities. Either we just go straight up to the moon, Valhalla, Road Dogg called it wrong, don't know what the hell's going on. Bear signs don't mean nothing. The indicators and everything that have guided me so far just lied to me. And we just moon. Short squeeze, mother of all. Somebody came in and bought $45 billion worth of Bitcoin. Saudi Arabia, I don't know. Screw you, dollar. We're going, I don't, you know, I guess anything can happen. And there's a good arguments. There still is a good argument. I'm not saying that it's out of the question that we come up here and make a higher high. It's possible, but it's starting to be a little less likely. And sometimes I wish I had a freaking crystal ball. But the signs I do see short term. Whether we come back to 88 now, that would take a lot. That would take a little bit more doing to get back to 88. It's got to break a few more levels, a few more areas, and even with me, you know, I pay a lot of attention to trend lines or supply lines, demand lines, whatever you want to call them. I just call them trend lines. It's that easy. I look at a lot of things on the horizontal. There's one reason why I think me and Joe are a good juxtaposition to each other. He looks at, and I do too. I look at things horizontal. That's the basis. His foundation is to go in looking at level by level horizontals. I usually come to the market looking at diagonals and things like that, and it's kind of a cool mess. You can see kind of, you know, both ways are right. They both intersect and all this other stuff. It's just a different way to look at things. And I respect all the horizontals, everything. Technically, your horizontals are your strongest, and then your diagonals would be your next in line there. And that's why when you have like something like this, and you see price goes over here, but she wicks down to touch that trend line one more time, horizontal strength. Those things. But there's also a lot to be said about these diagonals too. I played a lot of the diagonals. I have a strategy that uses those. And you just find tools and things, but I think all this, the horizontals and the diagonals, they're both just helpful. Add that to other stuff, your indicators, your tools that you use, the little systems, trading systems, like maybe the Fibonacci systems and things like that. You find what works for you, and then you start applying it, and then you go from losing most of the time to you start breaking even, and then you start winning. And then you start not losing as much or not as big as you did. And then you start seeing your account grow. You start seeing better habits develop. You start seeing better ideas develop. You start seeing bad habits disappear, like, oh, by the breakout, what if I start buying a little lower? Just little ideas, and you test and you see what works for you. And some of the things that I do wouldn't work for some people just because we have different risk tolerance, right? And some people get out there risky. I think some things they're risky as all get out, and they're like, "Oh, you're a stick in the mud, Road Dogg. Get with it." No, everybody's got a different risk tolerance. There's one idea here of a 3-wave, and with that idea, there could be one more hump up. And so I'm not going to throw it off the table that we could get here. But I am going to emphasize that it's risky as F just to go balls deep and just, there's nothing saying that we're definitely going there. Okay, there's nothing saying that we're definitely going there. And a lot of people are just coming out blazingly, just like we are, like, oh yeah, it's going to happen. But consider what's going on with the normal market, right? I mean, they're starting to get a bounce back recovery, but they got resistance areas right ahead. So this is the daily candle, and by the end of this weekend, we might actually be up there, and then they're going to say, "What are we going to do Monday?" I don't know. If he can, is that going to be what we need to blast us up to $110,000 on Bitcoin? I want you to take this consideration in mind. If Bitcoin does blast up to 110,000, what are your altcoins going to do? Because it would take Bitcoin dominance also breaking out to the upside, which could happen. We have to look at that. If that happens, altcoins are going to tank. So this is total 3, and she is getting some rejection there. She's starting to round out. We probably need to take a look at that one. Since we're going to take a look at meme coins tonight, it's starting to look like there might be some shorts going on. So for meme coins, I'm going to take a look at others. It's kind of like total 3, but just doesn't have the top 10 coins there. And now others here, let's go to the daily. We flirted with the 800, broke it, got back above it. We're above the Lucy line there. That's good. We're probably coming back to talk to Miss Lucy, to be honest with you. Bears crossed the 100 over the 200 and the 360. So that's probably going to drive us down to talk to Miss Lucy again, and probably that 50 moving average, which is the blue line here. The moving averages are telling me they're starting to look good. Don't get me wrong, it's starting to look good. The Ichimoku Cloud says, and even on Bitcoin it says we're making steps in the right direction. It just doesn't mean we're going to make all the steps at the same time. But right now on the daily, just like Bitcoin, we're still above the 9. So I can't officially say anything officially bearish about it yet, other than a warning that we may lose that. So, okay, from the 8 hour or the daily, we're looking okay, but it does say signs that we should drop, and we got a trend line, which I'm going to move to candle bodies and get that angle. And I think that makes just a wee bit more sense. Have we got anything over here? I don't see anything. We got anything over here? That looks like that angle might be a little bit more respected there. So I'm gonna switch at this, and then that gives us an idea that we might be coming, losing how many billion? About a 15 billion. So a little bit of a pullback, and that's healthy. That's healthy. And then we can come back for a higher high. If we are looking at trend lines and we're connecting the dots and seeing what we got here on the local pattern, I mean that's good. If that happens, that would give you like the meme coins we're going to look at. You just keep saying that, but you don't ever do it. We could get a good entry in them, and then, or possibly even short them down to there, and then they go back for their higher high. And so something like that could be a nice big gain there, because we should be easing back toward this 200 moving average. But it's just being a slow run. Look, a shoulder ahead and an inverted. That could be what's happening here. I would expect that more than just straight the Valhalla. Meme coins are going to rock. All right, guys. Thanks for being patient with me on all this. If you haven't already, I would appreciate it. If Elvis, where's Elvis?
For those of you out there who've been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Notice all the peanut butter, banana, and jelly crackers and bacon sprinkles are going out of the vending machine, and I suspect Elvis is the culprit there. I'm just saying. So daily, we're above we're still above the 9 moving average, so we're not officially bearish just yet. But we've got still the rest of the week. Now, legacy market has got a lot. The legacy, that's Wall Street and all them. They got earnings reports coming out, and that's got them skittish. The tariffs are still skittish. Some people are claiming that crypto is decoupling from the stock market, but if you've been paying attention, all the money coming into Bitcoin and all that's been through ETFs and a lot of the stock market. So we're not going to decouple. In my personal opinion, it may appear like it, but so much of our money is coming from that side now in Bitcoin and maybe a few select altcoins. All the other altcoins are just VCs and Degens and speculators, which kind of make meme coins. Are we finally getting the meme coins 48 minutes into the show? Here we go. I promise. It's time for meme coins. We need something to separate this. Here, there we go. Hey Jenny, you want to go skating? Me neither. All right. I just need something to officially separate us. Let's get into some meme coins. First one I want to take a look at is, hey, can I do that thing? Is there? I never played with this chapter thing. Add a stream marker. Stream marker added. Markers appear in the video editor after your stream ends. Okay, well, let's see what that does. We're going to take a look at Miro. Miro, this is BitBoy's favorite coin that was going to make him millions of dollars, which, how did that work out for you? Here we are. This is why it's juicy. She's down where she started. Look, right when BitBoy was, before BitBoy even saw it, I guess. She is at she's up, where are you at? 2.5 cents right now. This thing got up to 45 cents. It topped out at 25 cents. First it topped out at 25, 44, 37, 31, and here's where we are right now. But now if we got up to 25 cents, that would be almost a 10x. $100 turns into $1,000. $10 turns into $100. 1,000 turns into 10,000. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. These are meme coins. I wouldn't put in more money than, just get a little come up. Be happy with a little come up. Some people do. Some people will play that game, man. But be honest, if you were going to play that game, you're in a good area. You're in a juicy area. So my strategy, if we look at this little guy from what we got, best that we can discern here, even here on the daily, I'm trying to, oh my gosh, what was that? I'm trying to line up my lines a little bit more, especially on the bigger time frames. Falling wedgies, right? As best as we can get it out here. Oh my gosh. Is that a breakout? Is that a breakout? Is it a breakout? There's some volume over here with this little thing. Huh. That might be a little bit of breakout right there. Let me take it down to those candle bodies. Looks like there might be. Wow. Okay, well that's interesting. Anyway, we're going to take a fib from this high down to here. And I see that I'm going to adjust this line just a wee bit. I probably took you from higher before, but I want this one too. And that tells me that at this line or below is a really juicy price. So getting in, where were you down at 1 penny to 2.6 is a sweet spot to get into Miro. Now it sucks. You put $100 in now, and she comes back down into a penny. Your $100 went to 50. That's the down spot of it. And could that happen? Yeah, it could. There's a good possibility of a retest of this falling wedgie that we have. That's what this was, a falling wedge. They have like a 64% chance to come back and retest the breakout area. They do. And if it does, oh man, wouldn't that be a sweet spot to enter though? Wouldn't it? At that 21 daily moving average that we could hit. Now, if you were to find something there and we were to get up to the, say this little 618 area where we start congesting over here, that would your $100 or $10, your $100, let's just say $100 could turn into almost 300. Up there is our next target here at 6.2, which I've got as a target, and I'm going to keep as a target because that's valid. If we got in, let's say it at, what was it, 17 cents is what we were saying, or 1.7 cents. Maybe we had earlier before. It changes your percentages a lot depending on where you get in. I'm going to stick with 17. So let's say 1.7 cents. Let's say we get in there, or could. So up here, your $100 turns in right at 300. Up here, your $100 turns into about 350. And if we just come on back up here, baby, to where we were before, it's just at 16 cents, not even at 25 cents, not even at the good spots over there. But that's where you're, like a long-term, like a midterm, long-term play through there. I mean, yeah. So that's interesting to me. So I'm looking at that. Now we're coming up to that area of resistance, that 236 Fibonacci from that just this pull from here, right here. Let's make sure we got that right. Tweak it, baby, tweak it. Yeah. I'm on the 4 hour here looking at the moving averages. She was working on trying to start flipping them. That's good. I don't think she's ready to rock and roll just yet. Despite the short squeeze coming to Bitcoin and altcoins going to take us up to $120,000 tomorrow. There's a good chance that we might be doing a little butt crack pattern and come back down, retest these areas. Or do you think she's going to get one more flag to the upside? She can get above the 800 moving average. She doesn't have to reverse from here. She can get a wee bit higher. But always coming back down to that 200 here on the 4 hour. She's going to. She's got above it, and she's going to come back and talk to that 200. You can almost bank on it. My idea would probably be to try to look at some original trend lines here that we started out with, because we seem to respect those eventually. We probably don't have it drawn out as perfect. Areas I'll be looking for, the 0.5 and the 618 definitely. Maybe the 786. We'll see about that. So let's see if we can bank on the 618. And that would be a nice little starting point to see if we can get in. And Miro right here, as she comes down, it might take her, we're on the 4 hour, it might take her, it may be Friday, Saturday before we see this happen. But the moving averages suggest that, well, some lines, you know, it's not all straight up, not all straight up. She's got something really cool going on right now. If we're kind of looking at, no, you broke it, you broke it, you broke it. So you could possibly double top. That could be a scenario if she wants to go a little bullish, come up and then come down. We could see all kinds of things. There's no even need to speculate too much on it. Miro, somewhere around 17, 18, 19 cents would be sweet. Anywhere below this red line technically is a sweet deal, in my personal opinion. Anywhere through here. And so a layer in approach, a DCA approach would be for swing traders. That's an idea. I'm going to go over a few ideas here, and then we can speed through the other ones, because you can apply these ideas to there. But just pyramiding in smaller layers, you know, if you had $100, you could do 40 down here, 30, layer in 20, and then layer in 10, and just let it come down and fill your $100. Then you get a nice little average accumulation in this zone, ready to go to the upside. Those are some ideas on how to enter this, especially if you're trying to do it as a longer term play. If you're trying to do a perpetual futures trade, well, you got to use a different strategy. But on spot or something like that, or maybe something spot margin, something low margin, you can layer in like that and then have a nicer big move for a longer trade. And those are the ones that make you the most money, right? Just my thoughts on it. That was all spot to make that 3, 4 up to 10x if we get up to 25 cents. Adding a wee bit of leverage to it if that's your game. I mean, that can increase it, but I doubt that you would hold it up to those targets. It's just the market usually doesn't allow you to do that. All right, so I think that one's interesting. Let's take a look at, we did Miro. Let me cross you off my list here. We did Smoking Chicken Fist last night. So now we should be able to move through some of these a little sooner. Let's check out some of them. Let's check out Fwog. How are you doing, Fwog? You're actually, no, you're still kind of fucked up. Oh, did you say that online? She's at a 618 rejection right there, too. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the instrumental part of the show tonight. There's no lyrics on this music. So our nice little 236 Fibonacci from here, where we started our little cascade down to our bottoms, helps us figure out good little juicy areas to buy. Haven, thank you so much for sending a gift membership. Uh-oh. Hand clappies. I see that on my other screen there. Please notice that our 800 moving average is currently up there. By the time price gets up there, it probably will not be, and we'll probably be getting above it. This is doing a nice little ribbon flip here on the 4 hour. 4 hours is a good chart to look at right now, especially if you're using these bigger moving averages like I've got the 360. We're seeing the actual ribbon flip happen here. So Fwog looks nice actually. She made a higher high from over here. 618. She should be coming down a little bit. She lost her secondary trend line here. So see how this works. See how this works. We had this trend line. That's our basic one. This is our secondary one. Chances are we'll probably come back and try to talk to this one, unless we're starting to curve up a little bit. We might, and that might make a new bottom lower, and we'll start tracking that. That could. How would you know that? The easiest way I found to see that is the angles. And I would say, because it makes a channel, you see that idea? This is how you can do this without fibs and stuff, just by eyeball. In case you get on an exchange or in a situation in life where you can't depend on your Fibonacci's. I'm just saying. So we're going to take a swing low to swing high here. We could take it from back here. I'm just going to look at the general, the 0.5 and 618, the typical standards that we would look for here.
They could bounce from here to the 382, flag to the upside. Woohoo! She lost her trend line, baby. She lost her trend line, so probably not as good there. We're looking for this little zone right here for FWOG. We're looking for this nice little zone here, and it could come down lower. She could come down to back lower this trend line, but we're hoping that she will respect this angle here as drawn here. It's not official. It's speculative play, but I'm throwing it out there. We also got our moving averages coming in here. The 360 retesting that one. She needs to do it. I'm just saying they need to catch up. It's been a minute. You haven't called me all week. Been worried enough about you. Those kind of ideas here. So for FWOG, now what about targets? Well, we got that 10. That's the juicy one to look for. What would it be like if we were to get in, let's say here at 5 cents, and we double our money there at 10 cents? And the reason that I'm looking for these things at these bottoms where they're curving, I like curving rounded bottoms that are starting to do something. This accumulation, building a position at these lows so that when price does get up, oh my God, FWOG is back up at 42 cents. Wish I'd bought some when it was under a dime. You don't say, I wish I'd bought some when it was under a dime, or we got in when it was 25 cents. For meme coins, in my personal opinion, for some of these that we're looking at, they're in juicy buy zones. Juicy, slow accumulation zones that I'm seeing here for these guys on the dollar. So FWOG, not that I'm pushing it, I don't think I have any right now. But this one looks interesting. And let's just say that, let's get her back up here to this little congested area that she's been at before. Let's just go with the 24 cents. It goes back up to 24 cents from those areas. That's 430% gains. 4x. $10 turns into almost 50. $100 turns into almost 500. Maybe you just build a little bag at a time. Maybe you just get $25 worth over here. I'm not saying you gotta go hard on meme coins. I don't recommend that you do, but the people that can build up them bigger bags in these areas, they can do pretty good. Or you can get in something like OM. Remember OM? It was the best performing one out there until it wasn't. Diamond hands, baby. I'm holding you forever. Until one day, she keeps dropping and still keeps on dropping. I'm currently shorting this little bad boy on spot margin. All right, so we took a look at Miro. We took a look at FWOG. I'm going to take a look at trying to find a few that we covered a few on the last few streams, so I don't want to be too repetitive right on. Here's one that I haven't looked at in a while. It has not been a solid performer for me. I may have got in too late when I got in. I've got a small bag of this guy. It's Retardio, and let's see, Mexi's got you. What are you looking like? That's nice. Some people you'll see lots of, oh, look, an Adam and Eve, inverted head and shoulder, and then the inverted head and shoulder idea is valid. That's valid. I don't diss patterns. I just diss some of the people who force patterns, because that's one thing you don't want to do is force a pattern. It's got to be there. You can't bend the rules and say that's close enough. In my personal opinion, sometimes I even see Thomas Bukowski be a little suspect on these. Thomas Bukowski, I've found. When he calls for a neckline, he's only connecting the head to one shoulder. He's not really looking for that whole thing. I do. Now, my first foray into the head and shoulder pattern was through reading analysts talk about Bitcoin and things like that, and that's a good way to learn technical analysis. When you see them, like when you read the crypto news, there will be this report or something, and they'll break down coins and they tell what they're looking for, and some of them go by patterns, some of them go by Bollinger Bands, and they'll break down what they're seeing with the indicators, and they're very good. And they're telling you, they're actually teaching you how to do that
while they're making their argument as to why that they think price will reach these certain levels. That's where you learn. Okay, so you can learn a lot through there. And one of them was the first place I ever, before I learned TEA, this is one of the first patterns I ever learned was the head and shoulder pattern, not the inverted, but they're the same. But even your tool over here, if you don't have that neckline, it doesn't fill out. Have you noticed that? That signifies, hey, that neckline is important for this pattern. Look, you line them up and then it fills in, and now you know you got your neckline complete. That neckline is muy important for head and shoulder patterns, in my opinion. That's what I'm preaching, I'm teaching, and that was a little deviation from Thomas Bukowski there. Here we go, chasing this trend line. Now chances are we're going to come back and retest the breakout of this little guy. Now you can look at it as a head and shoulders, and that's valid. It's also valid. And if you zoom out on a lot of these patterns, you realize, oh, they're just really a channel. For real. A pattern within a bigger pattern, which is some kind of channel usually. And just knowing that idea alone can give you some ideas, some targets. So the target for the inverted head and shoulder and for the channel both take us up to right at 3 cents there. And let's go over here and put a measure move there. And I like to color those guys blue. So right at 3 cents. So you can either jump in now with this flag to the upside. Is it a flag to the upside? What's that wick? Do flags have wicks? Is it a flag to the upside? I like to get me a candle body, go to another candle body. I like to continue those. And she hadn't broken that yet. Technically, at this point in time, it could bounce from there and be a flag to the upside. Lose this trend line, I would lose hope for that. I would say, probably not. You're probably coming right down here. I'm going to say you're probably coming right down here anyway, around 1.9, 20 cents. You're at 21 right now, as it is. Moving average just kind of suggests maybe a pullback coming too. Retest these little areas. 200 moving average on the 1 hour. Yeah, that can happen. Moving averages look pretty good. They look pretty strong, making higher highs, making a higher low. And as long as we don't go below this low at 1.6 cents, we're doing pretty good. But that's the area I would be looking for. I think that it's got a good chance to break this trend line. If it doesn't, then hey, baby. Awesome. Let's continue up and go to our measure move. If by chance that there is something here. Oh my God, you're drawing the boomer pattern. Oh, I'm the boomer now. Breaking the trend line would be a nice, closing a candle or two above there would be 22 cents. You could ride it up there. So from let's say you get past this high right here and go up there, you got 28% gains. However, if we get down here to 1.9 and go up there, it's 53% gains. A little bit better, just by being a little bit more patient and seeing what's going on, right? I see so many people when they do their little things, look to the upside, and they don't tell their people, the audience of new people out there watching them do stuff like a lot of this on the 1 minute futures trading and stuff like that. Not exactly the audience that you want us for new people to teach in the market. That's not the place to start if you're just getting into crypto, but yet that's what the gurus like to do. I mean, get some clicks, get some subscribers, gets them monthly memberships of $100, and my gosh, you get 2,000 people giving you $100 a month. That's quite a come up right there. Wow, that goes into the $1 million a year. Makes you wonder, do you make more money trading or do you make more money selling them $100 memberships? Which are you going to cater to more when it comes down to actually? So there's your idea right there for retardio. I can't believe I'm saying this. Actually kind of looks interesting, but it kind of does. Retardio, where could you go from here? Make it worth my while, baby. Make it worth my while. She's not done great, but she is rounding out. What would be a sensible target for this one? The most sensible one would be about 4 cents right there. See how she does there. Maybe she's got some more price history. We just don't have it. I'm sure it does. Mixie, I think, just added it in January. There's some more price history. We just don't have it here, but That's a nice little target right there. Now from that's pretty much 200% from if we come back down and retest this area and get up to there, 100% gains. Also zooming out, I like this. I like that right there, that trend line. That's what I would really be following right there. You got a little measure move from that guy at the breakout. Also suggesting we can get up to these areas, retest this area over here, but was it 3.2 cents? Retardio, it's one to look at. I guess we hadn't done the smaller time frames, or did we? We did. 50 moving average down here. We lost the 9. 20. Where's the 21? 21 is, you're at the 21 right now. Right underneath this trend line. If she breaks it, I look for a better price. Let's take a look at Bonk. How about Bonk? 19 people hanging out with me. I've bored you on Retardio. We don't like Retardio. Oh, we're 4 hour on Bonk here. 800 moving average broke above it. That's interesting. Lucy and the 50 are down here at 1702. One hump, two hump. Have you got another one in you? We gotta zoom out and see what's going on here. Oh, right. I remember you now. That's not the one we're looking for, though. Okay, so Bonk right here is our main trend line, and ooh, we're right up against resistance. Not saying that she, well, I would be surprised if she would break up above there right now, or if she did, I don't know that she would keep it. The positive sign, 200 moving average above the 360, and that's good, and that tells me we might be able to get up there to, was that 2400? We're at 1957 right now. A decimal, 4 zeros, and small fractions of a penny. That's a nice double bottom here, nice W shape. Retested that. That was, I think you extended your measure move for that, didn't you? If we went to the wick all the way down, wick to wick, would that have got it? How close would that be at the breakout? Wick to wick would have been a good estimate there. So we're in the area where the measure move is played out, and will we get a retest of this W breakout? That's very possible too. As a general rule of thumb, that's something to look at, and it could be coming back down to this $1,500 area. It would make sense that we get rejected, come back, and then, you know, make a higher. We made our higher high over here. We did what we needed to do. Technically, we did it here, kind of like Bitcoin. So you look at that double bottom. There's other ways you look at it. You look at this trend line, breakout, retest. All these are valid. They're all valid. This would have been more of a megaphone pattern, partial decline, double bottom. I mean, you pattern within pattern, however you want to look at it. It's all valid, but this one, this guy right here, that's the one. Is that going to be a rejection? I'm going to take a Fibonacci. She's getting rejected here at the 382, and that's normal to be expected. That's a typical area to get rejected out there, baby. Don't feel bad about it. Question is she going to continue getting rejected there, or is she going to say, I'm going to go up to the 0.5? 0.5 is starting to look like it might have a chance. So we want to put that as our backup bonus target right here. We've still got a few more days till we get to the weekend, Wednesday and Thursday, and those are some interesting days, and they might decide to pump us up on a Friday. Who knows? They like to pump us up toward the weekend and start driving us down. Seems to be something they're pretty good at doing. So for Bonk, it looks like we're getting close to some take profit areas, and we're at one. We just got rejected at one of those areas right there. And if you don't take profit, you know, from this area, we do come back down to here, and you could be losing 20 up to 30% of your profits, almost 25 to 28% of your gains that you made up to that point, if you're not paying yourself a little bit. So Bonk looks like she could be getting a little retest. This is on the daily. Let's come down and see what the nitty gritty. We were at the 4 hour, weren't we? 4 hours still looking okay. Here's our trend line. let's see. Let's shoot for this little guy right here. As of right now, until we kind of see what's exactly going on here, we can come down smaller time frame. 1 hour, what are you doing? She's lost her 9 on the one. She's lost her 50 on the 1 hour, so that's caution. When we lose the 50, trend's probably over, right? Trend line could probably tell you that too. Is the trend over? Oh, you're so close, so close. We still got an intact trend line, so I can't say anything bad about you just quite yet. You break that trend line, I'm going to talk about you. Elliott Wave's already talking about it. So look, we already came up to 3. We did a little sorry ass 5 wave. Now we're going to ABC our little happy asses down to that area that we were looking at almost. So some of the meme coins, waiting for a little bit of a pullback on them could be very beneficial if we're planning ahead. And this was bonk. And I didn't put a marker in on that little thing. I keep forgetting to do that. Let's take a look at, here's one. Remember GOAT? I'm going over some of the most popular meme coins, because they're likely to get popular again. And these are degen plays. These are definitely degen plays. These are not the brightest, the most fundamentally sound, correct plays to make in the market, but they're ones that could actually make us a little bit of money, as long as we don't go too crazy. Trend line still holding for this one. We got is it our 3 humps or not? Because we only touched here. Will that make this just 1 hump? Oh my gosh, Elliot, what do you say? No, you're saying dump it. You're saying 5 waves. Now let me tell you, Elliot's not always right on this 5 wave, and if it decides to bounce here, he's going to change his mind just like everybody else on YouTube does. I called it. I was saying this one. He'll change his mind in a heartbeat. But it does seem to suggest that. And you got bearish divergence. Do you? Let's go bigger time frame. I like to look for bearish divergence on some of these ideas. We're rising up there. She's coming down there. So there's some bearish divergence forming. I pay a lot more attention to it on the bigger time frames than I do the smaller ones. But it's worth paying attention to. The only time that I would say you probably should pay a little bit less attention to is if we're in a real strong parabolic move, like if we're curving and going up. Then you can't sit there and say, oh no, I'm selling out, bullet bearish divergence. But usually something like a 4 hour, something like that. Was this one not going parabolic? She had one instance there, one instance there. Have you got your third? I'm only see 2 instances of it right now. So would I be shocked if we come back up and then do it again? I would not be. But they're starting to say we need to kind of take a little break. Elliot says we're coming down. I don't know if we're coming down or not, but if we do come down, we're going to talk to the little spider guy somewhere in these areas. If we got a top, we can figure it out, but we don't know if we got a top just yet. Elliot thinks we got a top. Let's go for that 0.5 area. But it could be down as low as the 618, top of this trend line area. But right now, we're going to shoot for this guy. So at 6.6 cents, whereas we're at 8 cents now. And if we were to do that, and we got in here, going up to there and be 80% gains. Whereas if you said, screw it, I'm just going to FOMO in now and just ride it, whatever happens, happens, which is not you shouldn't really do that in this market. Some people do. You get to that stage and screw it. All I can do is swap anyway. I'll just go ahead and do it. I mean, maybe you could still come out with 46% gains to our next target. You're in a good zone to accumulate, so you will have more forgiveness when you're buying and accumulating in these low zones than you will as it's starting to go up and do its, buy the dip stages. There's a lot more forgiveness here and to make bigger gains when you're buying at these bottoms that some people are saying, I'm going to wait. It's too low. I don't want to get in. What? It's made a lower low than it's ever been. That's trash. You're going to hear lots of things, but I'm going to tell you that this is the juicy spot where when this one comes back into play, Godius Maximus around these areas where she congested a lot, let's say 70 cents. That's almost a 10x from where we are right now. So being a bottom feeder, I'm finding some very nice bottom feeding ideas going on here. I like that right there. Oh no, what about this fuzzy spider? The inverted head and shoulders. But that's when you zoom out, to me, this is what you got. You got your megaphone, partial decline, breakout, measure move. I mean, you're basically working your way back up here to 14. You're working your way back up to where we started. As a general rule of thumbish. So Cotius looks kind of interesting to me, and if she gets a pullback, awesome. Pull the microphone out of my mouth here. Let's see, we did bonk, we did goat. Have we done ponky? We're going to take a look at ponky, the ponky monkey. MEXC seems to be wanting to be the chart we look at. So we already did you. Oh, look at, we must have done this one recently. Same thing, same idea. Looking for a retest in these areas. And we're on the 4 hour, 200 moving average, 100 moving average are down here. It can happen, baby. It can happen if you're patient for it. We got this trend line, supply line, and as long as, you know, we're oh snap, I did it again. So maybe she only comes through our little top guy there. Is she getting rejected, darling? She appears to be. Is there a reason for her getting rejected there? I would say there appears to be. It's a 113 Fibonacci area. Nice little place to find a rejection for a higher high, especially a shallow higher high. Making an M top there that looks like it confirmed if we're going referring to our patterns. Below the 921, 9 cross bullshit over the 21, we're headed toward the 50. And if you're taking a measure move for the M pattern, that would suggest we come a little lower and retest this little area here, about 10.5. And I'm saying, well, if we're going to do that, we might as well just come on down here and talk to this 100 moving average, and also this purple line here, that 360 moving average that we might need to talk to. Hell, we might even come back and talk to the 200 moving average on the 4 hour, because that's definitely known to happen. So these ideas are still on the table. A good chance that we might just bounce here. So if we do, let's say we get down to 9 cents instead of 11 cents. Ooh, baby. Why, I bet if we put $100 in at this 9.7, got back up to where we topped out, $100 turns into $133. Now that's pretty interesting to me. We're getting back down to 9.7, get up to this little target up here, a very special Fibonacci. $100 turns into $145. To the 25-cent target, which that's the sweet one to be waiting on. One of the sweet ones to be waiting on. There's many to come after that, in my personal opinion. You'll be looking at $100 turns into about $250. And that just gets us down to the bottom she had back in September, before she went off to 80-something cents. Well, did she get back to 80-something cents? I don't know the answer to that. I do have a little theory on some of these coins, not just meme coins, but altcoins in general, that when you track them, and we had this big, nice trend that we lost. I think that is going to continue in most cases to be resistance throughout the rest of this bull market for these coins. So that might help you navigate when to get out if we're in a situation like this, to carry that line further and just say, that might be as high as she goes, wherever price, you know, by the time that we get to that. It opens the doors that we could be coming back to 55, maybe up here to this 69-cent area. And maybe that's as far as she gets. She doesn't get a higher high or anything like that, you know. I don't know what token unlocks or anything like that. I don't know if the meme coins even have that. Sometimes there are, I don't know, but some of them do, some of them have different things going on. But you could get $100 turned into about $650. Just a straight hold on spot and sell it there. I mean, a possible. Doesn't mean that that's what you're going to get or anybody's going to get. Everybody has different ideas and gets in and gets out at different times, but that's just a possibility. Something to say. Is it worth my while to take this one here? I'm going to say this one's interesting. We're talking about meme coins, maybe putting 10, 20, 50, $100 into them. seeing what you can get over a little bit of time there. These are a little random dark horse plays, Degen plays, but some of you guys might be looking $500 bags. Shoot, some people go for $5,000 bags. It depends on risk tolerance. That would be a little bit too much for me. But hey, man, if it were any other coin in these areas, and I really believed in it, maybe. Let's take a look at Miggles. I'm gonna mix it up with some of these base coins over here. Mr. Miggles, there's also Mexi, KuCoin. To me, let's see, we got that same thing. We had this big trend line, so that's going to be an area of resistance. So, Mr. Miggles, where do I think you can go over the next, I don't know, let's say couple of months here? We could see 10 cents happen again. That might be about as high as we can see from what I can see right now, trajectory wise. But that's basically what we're on a trajectory. That's how I look at this. I would kind of, let's just throw us in this channel and let's play this guy. This is kind of my idea. This is not authenticated yet. We don't have enough touches to confirm that yet, but I'm starting to see a little bit of a lineup. I may not have my angles perfectly over here or anything too. I can get more anal as time goes by, but right now it's a valid idea in my personal opinion. I'm gonna make you dotted because you're not solid by the rules yet. So these are two really good areas to look for where we will have a reaction. Not only Fibonacci area, support resistance areas. Just take your fibs, look to the left, see what you got going on. Oh look, it was resistance here. It was resistance here, and it was support here. That's probably a good area to go with, and boom. When we come back and like, oh my God, nailed it. No, it's just taking these concepts and applying a bunch of them, you know, looking together and seeing what the charts will talk to you. This is how the charts talk to you. This is how they speak with confluence. They speak with confluence, and if you open up your eyes and you can see that and hear it, and maybe, you know, it'll help avoid you from chasing the flags to the upside so much. I mean, it can work, but there's some better ideas out there, I just believe. Better concepts. I will take the fibs and I will show you how to use these fibs. I'm not one that will come back and show you hindsight. Oh, you saw right there, we bounced from the 618. Yeah, that should have told you. I mean, that's the first time you pulled a fib this whole day on this thing. Why? We use fibs to project where prices can go and have a reaction. I use fibs to forecast. In essence, that's basically what it is. And some of your teachers out here on YouTube are just going to teach you how to use them in retrospect. And so, look, see, we bounced there. You should have known. And that's like, that's the first time you've mentioned the fibs. So these are some good areas, 5 cents, 7 cents, in my personal opinion. Say from where we are now. Look, flag to the upside. 52%, 100% gains. Oh, that's a little bit more than 100%. That's cool. That's cool. This is Mr. Miggles. I don't have any of this, but now I'm starting to think, well, should I get some Mr. Miggles? I'm still on a bigger time frame. I'm on the 8 hour. I don't know why, but bearish cross of 360 over Lucy and 800. So that's we got some work to do. 5 cents will be, you know, kind of an area we're going to have to work on, but I like this idea. So can we come back down to these areas? Can we get Mr. Miggles cheaper? Might be able to get it a little cheaper, somewhere around 2.8 cents. We got a 100 moving average and 50 moving average also coming in right here at this areas. You're at 3.2 cents, a little bit coming lower. More than likely, it looks like a rollover. This is what a rollover looks like, okay? This is a flag. Right now, you would say, oh, that's a flag to the upside. You can say that, but the moving averages will tell you it's a different story. Maybe she's not so much a flag as she is a falling wedgie. I would say she's probably more of a falling wedgie. Now, the falling wedges different from a flag, right? Falling wedges, you got your. It basically takes you back up to the tops of them a lot of the time. Could it still be? I'm not going to argue. What I'm going to argue is a 200 moving average. and we're beneath it here on this time frame, and your non-moving average crossed over it, and your non-moving average looks like it's going to cross over that 21, and it looks like that's what a rollover looks like. The resistance off of a 200 moving average. This is what it's looking at. The 50 moving average, 100 moving average are coming into play here. If we got to fib it out, I think we just fib out everything, don't we? 618 area. So I think that looks like a good area. Can she bounce here? She can, but she's lost her moving averages. The rule of the moving averages says the 50 or the 100 or both are in line to get touched here. Your other indicators are starting to come down too. For a flag to the upside. I'm just saying. I'm harping on flags to the upside because there's a bias for it that's being taught. You can see the bias in the people that are teaching it. I mean, that's your first go-to is a flag. Always flag it out, flag it out. Everything's going to be a flag. Oh, that's all you're looking for is flags? Eventually those flags are not going to play out, and the most notable places are resistance, and these people that I see with the flags, one flag after the other, don't seem to really pay attention to resistance or zoom out to see where that resistance is. It's just zooming in and finding a flag. Now, if it works for you, have fun with it, but I went down that road several years ago, and that's probably one reason why I'm preaching against it so much. It's a misleading road, in my personal opinion. It gets you into bias and forcing patterns. We don't want to force patterns. What we always want to do is zoom out. Even from here, zoom out and see what the bigger thing is. And the bigger thing, you know, the trend line here. Your trend line ideas here, that's always going to be resistance too. Even if you go from your... Yeah, you don't count as wicks, you go from candle bodies. You still got, you know, those are your bigger, better ideas. And zooming out can tell you a lot more. That right there told us a possibility coming back up to these, straight up from price, wherever that is, into those areas. Wherever price might meet that top line, it has a chance to get there. We get some intersections here with some of our little horizontal areas, and yeah. Look, what happened? Might we hit it at May 17th? I don't know. Is it going to make you click and hit that like button? We might hit it by May 17th. Woo! Nobody knows. If it does, can you repeat your forecast? Well, you told the future. You knew what was going to happen. Can you do it the next time? Can you do it? Are you going to repeat that process, or did you just get lucky? A lot of times you get lucky. I got lucky a couple of times here on the stream, calling it, nailed it. I'm using a few techniques like a trend line, but can I repeat that every time? No. No one has a crystal ball, but we can look at probabilities and price action and history, and we make a higher high, we look for a higher low. Higher lows usually come in a trend line, and so do higher highs, and that's where we get channel ideas. I'm just saying, that's just kind of how this stuff kind of works. Technically, I would say we can come down here. Actually, I'm gonna put it down there. Just because. Now you can take the angles. I mean, if we're on a trajectory, I mean, she could just drop. But if she keeps with this trajectory that she's on, I would take it from the underneath. Then you can do these ideas and try to align price and time and try to get something that way. It's not the most accurate, but it can do. You can have some luck with it. And then you come out, see, if you join my group, you could, I mean, some of the techniques that I see on here, it's just a lot of pressure. All right, so I seem to be on a rant. My bad. 23 people hanging out. Thank you for putting up with my silliness. Want to take a look at, we did Ponky, right? And we did Mr. Miggles. We did, hey, here's one. We haven't looked at this one in a while. Nobody's even talking about this one in a while. This one was hot, especially with George. A lot of people like this one. A little cock in you. The old rooster coin itself. Oh, looks like what's going on here? Were we having some problems? Looked like that helped the situation right there, didn't it? Looks like you need a little dose over here. She made a lower low. I ain't made a higher high yet. she's still on her downtrend technically. Oh look, did we have this line here before? Did it nail it? That's a 786 Fibonacci retracement, if my color codes are correct here. And she may be coming back down to talk to it again, or possibly go lower. And you gotta mention the go lower idea. Will that happen? We're in this big ass falling wedge to the upside. I feel like I got too much stuff here. Maybe if I take these off and leave the lines. The lines should be good, but the price things are getting on my nerves. There's so many zeros. What is it? This is KuCoin, right? We definitely are at a cheap price to get in, lower than she's ever been. Therefore, if she takes a comeback, you can make better gains than you would if you got in before. There's that idea. Oh, was that the measure move? Oh my gosh. Well, if she breaks out, you get this big green dildo to the upside, going back up to 53, but I don't even know. We're nowhere near that, are we? So we pull our Fibonacci's, make sure that we're still on point here, and we're gonna adjust these little guys. Yeah, we're gonna adjust these guys. I did you from over here, didn't I? Let me do it this way. So I got a 618 in that area too. Where did I? Probably from here. Yeah, that's where you came from. Okay. Shorter term play, dial you in a little bit. So our 618 and 236 area, that's starting to make this area look really good for a longer term play. Other area would be here, 382. Let's take you, put one of you guys there. Oh, did I get you by accident? I'll leave you there. Interesting how the spaces worked out there, right? Ratios, proportions. That's kind of cool. So we got a little KuCoin, which maybe, oh, and you moved it. Maybe coming down. But let's say even where we are right now, you bought the flag to the upside. It's not a flag. That's what they said on TV. 117 to 190% gains to our targets, possibly 200% to the 618. $100 can turn into $300 a little bit over time. Getting back to its previous high that it had in November or December. December highs. It's kind of concerning that they were lower, but KuCoin is starting to get a little forgotten there, like it is now, but $100 turns into $450. $10 turns into, whatever, $500. So that's a nice trend line that it's deviated from, just not made a higher high. Will she come back? She's got a chance to come back here or just a little bit above that. I'm going to go ahead and put it as maybe a little double bottom here. We don't know. She's trying to catch a little support, but she's also trying to roll over a little bit. So KuCoin, this on the daily. You need to go down to the 15-minute. You're looking like you might get some support there at this breakout area. So the rule of thumb is you break out and you can retest the breakout area. Might this be a early, I mean, she can go up and still come back and do it, but maybe it's doing that now. Nice little double bottom there, W pattern, that helped. Could come back all the way, oh yeah, if I were just going to speculate and look without pulling a fib, I would look at a retest of that. Don't know that's going to happen. We got 100 moving average, 200 moving average, and they look like they could possibly support it here at this 382. That would be bullish. I'm not sold on the idea, but we're just going to say right here between this and this is a great area to accumulate it. That's the easiest way to put it. How far down is that? What is it, about 20%? $100 in, comes down. Oh no, now it's only $80. You suck, road dog. Or if you get down here and you buy here and it comes back up just to bounce. Oh my God, road dog, you're awesome. Yeah, I made $24 off of that. So whether you love me or hate me, it probably depend on where you buy. So little KuCoin looks a little interesting. for a little degen play. Here's one. How about this little guy? Ski. We'll go back to a base coin. Ski Mask Dog. I'm not spending very much time in the chat right now. I'm sorry about that. You guys only give me a #1 chat rate. You guys aren't chatting very much either right now. Oh look, she flagged to the upside. She testing that 50 moving average. It's kind of steep for a flag, wouldn't you think? I'd say we're coming back to retest that 100 moving average, 200 moving average area, retest this trend line and see if we can do something a little bit more funky. And I'm going to say it's going to get funky. Did you double top? That's a little bit of a lower low, so we got some work to do. I like what I'm seeing. I'm on a 6 hour. That's an odd time frame. The ribbon is starting to flip. The moving averages are starting to flip. Ski is looking interesting. That one looks better. Huh. Well, Ski Mask Dog, are you getting ready to do something for us? Let's get an actual... Yeah, let's go for you. 0.0, right at 0.049-ish area. You know, I should be sharing these with the... keep forgetting to do that with the group. So what will be your target from here? I hate to do that right now. We don't have a bottom area in, but I'm going from the fibs that we got here. And I want to put these guys on the radar. Could this be a trade setup? It could be. I would throw that out there. That's a 20% stop loss. Oh, hell no. It's too, yeah, we can't do this just yet. Oh, I would never use a 20% stop loss. So we'll have to wait until we see where she stops and what happens, and it could be a smidgen lower. That's not why we're not going to post these yet. It's not really a trade setup at the moment. So we're looking at 4.3 to 5 cent area here. We're at 5.3 cents.
What the few pennies between friends?
Well, I don't know. It's percentage points. Here to there would be 118% gains if we make that. I don't see a reason why we couldn't. It's just right up to this little level. We've been there before. I've got higher highs, higher lows as we start stepping our way up to this trend line. Ski Mask Dog, nice round. That looks interesting to me. It'd be a nice one to accumulate, in my personal opinion. I would. Let's fibber out, and this area right here. Anything below that, I consider to be a decent, nice little juicy accumulation area. Anything below 10 cents looks good for the bigger picture. As she can go back to 23, 30 cents. Whereas you just make a 3x if we got up to 30 cents, buying it at a dime. You would make a 6x if you were buying it at a nickel. Those ideas. Let me come over to the chat and see what you guys are chatting about. There's Melissa. How's it going, Melissa? Chris Klein. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all still here, peeps. Yes, please do. Let's get the chat rated up. Says you're doing great, Road Dog. Thanks for grinding for us. I just like to do this. This is fun. It really is. 420. Uh-oh. Chris Klein, Ploke's Angels. Striga says, thanks, Road Dog. The solar activity's been giving massive headaches. Really? I was wondering why I felt a bit off lately. Hey, let's got those ones going on there. Ah, sweet. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I've been feeling a lot tired. I hadn't thought about solar flares or solar stuff. Could be. I'm trying to get more motivated. It seems like ever since I had that little, just that outpatient surgery thing, but it's thrown me off my game, my routine, my workout routine, and all this stuff. Got me off my base for all that. So Stop my momentum. It takes me a while to get going again. I'm having trouble getting back on the scheme of things. I do spend a lot of time here staring at a lot of coins, though. I probably spent too many times looking at charts. I did Miggles. We did Miggles. Ski Mask Dog. Ski Mask Dog looks interesting. Now, you could say that she's testing a support area right here. I took some profit on you just a little while ago. I'm wondering if I should, since I do swaps and I don't have a way to put a limit order in because I do this on my base wallet, I may snag me just a little bit since we're low. We're not beautifully low. We would go lower. But do I still have? Yeah, I've got some of you. And she's right now down here. She could be making a double. I mean, she could be. She could be. I still think she's coming down lower, but it's not for where we could be going up to, and for what I've got to go down here. I can kind of talk myself into doing a little bit. So I'm going to put in like $15 on my bag. I got like a $47 bag of this already, right? And I sold some when she was over here, just a little bit, not all. So I have some dry powder to put in for some lower prices, for whatever. And I guess we're going back into you on this one. Which account was that? I got two different accounts, so I can do this twice if I want. Do I want? I don't have as much dry powder on this one. Ooh, what are you doing? AIXCB. Now, I don't think that's a meme, but it's kind of like a meme coin. AIXCB. I got that on my list, but I took it off. Let's see what we got. Now, you got some people out there talking like some of these coins are just getting ready to pop off and go to the moon. And I know they had a pop. What are you doing? What are you doing? Is that a red dot up there? You got some money flows coming in, but some things are starting to turn around here. Momentum wave starting to go off on you, baby. Says she's starting to lose some momentum. She had a nice little blow off top right there. 3 cents. She's down halfway. Oh my gosh, what should we do? How do we figure this out, my man? We fib it out. Fib her out. Ski Mask Dog. She's below the 50% line. Now, that's a rule of thumb. When you get an impulse move, you come back to the 50% area. Now, the impulse move for this actually would be around here, so she's a little below it. But still, I think she can. What, we were on AIXCB. Right now, she's hanging at that 0.5 area. She's trying to hold it. She don't have much down here to support her, except for this little area over here. Maybe that's enough, but it does look like through the rest of the week we could be coming down 0.07. I really think that one is. I'm just going to go with that one. I would put the 618 out there, but I'm not convinced that one's going to hold. It might. If we're bullish AF, it might. Now we're on the daily. Let's come down and see what the gossip is saying. But we're going to flag to the upside. Look, it's a flag to the upside with a pointy shark hat. All you got to do is just put it in a. Have you ever seen this? Yeah, you get a candle like this, and they're saying, yeah, just flag it to you put it in the flag and see what it does. How'd that work? How'd that work? It would have looked good on a certain time frame. It would have been up there, right? What if you're chasing this on the 1 minute? Yeah, we'll just put it in the flag. We'll just put it in the flag. And yeah, they're always doing this and then putting a measure move over there, projecting the measure move before there's even anything there. To me, I think those are dangerous behaviors, people. I just got to say that. That's just, especially if you're new coming into this market, or if you're new trying to learn TA, or even if you know TA, trying to piece it together. That's some stuff. Here is what I got. following the main trend line, and we broke that little son of a base. Good chance we're coming down on a little bit. So still looking strong. Now the moving averages now. They're doing some stuff, so there's a chance it will come back down. I would say even down as far as here. I don't know that 1.2 cents can hold, but 0.007, that she looks like she's on par to be tested again, maybe even lower if you count breakouts and retested breakouts. So she is on the high right now, but she's you got to give her some time. It takes a wee bit of time, I believe, but we'll start seeing some of these areas. Taking a look at here's one. This is Simon's cat. Now, Simon's cat is a cartoon, actual cartoon. Now, I never figured out if this is like an official. Wow, you are down too. This one started out on Binance Smart Chain. I know that much about it. They don't have the best reputation because they were last cycle Solana for meme coins and everything, and projects that didn't do much. But I mean, it's still a great chain. They're also on some other stuff. Let me take a look at Simon's cat over here. If you're not, the cartoons are great, and I don't know if they're affiliated or not. But on YouTube, I like to watch Simon's cat. It's this little guy, the Simon Cat official token, and he says, "Let others fight, but true OGs know BNB chain is where it all began." I guess it is definitely get them BNB airdrops, treasury, Floki holders got an airdrop. Liquidity, market makers 5%, pre-sale investors got a bunch of it. This one's been out for a little while. This look, he's so cute. He's awesome. I love the videos. I forgot who the artist is that does them, but I guess they got their official meme coin. Let me go over. I mean, they've been around for a long, since 2008, animated season over on YouTube. So now, if they got a coin, I mean, I could get behind that. So that, can you guys hear that? Anyway, so here we are down in the dirt and trying to find some support down here. I think it's interesting. I may need to, I didn't realize you were down this low. I've got a little bag of this and I may add to it. I may double it since she's down here. And then that way we start getting into profit a lot quicker. I didn't know you were down this low. I guess that explains why the bag looks so small now. Shaw. Wow, so from our Fibonacci from the high to the low, crazy, but this one tells me that anywhere under here is pretty much a nice little place to get it. We can take that little theory and then come back to our latest high and nail it even more, and it says, ooh, this is the sweet spot. We're testing the sweet spot right now, that for the really, really juicy entry prices, anywhere below where we are now is good, here and below. So if you're bottom feeder, like, oh my gosh, yes. Yes. Man, you made me want to nibble on Simon the cat. Where you at, Simon? Where were you at? It's available. Where are you available now? Now it's on, are you still just on Binance? I thought you were on Solana too, right? No? There we go. Yeah, it's on Solana too. Really? It's got a $46 million market cap. There's why a trillion? I did not know you had a trillion of coins though. That's stupid. Maximum supply is 9 trillion. Circulating is 6 point. No wonder you got so many freaking zeros. That's just stupid. To do that many coins is just stupid. So two notable targets that I think are worthy. There's a couple. We'll go with these two here. What kind of come up would that be? Breaking this level and going to that level, would that be cool in itself? Shoot, 61% gains, 100% gains just to get up there. So you could be looking at it that way. You can also be looking at it this way. Look, it's trying to make a shoulder head, and it could be that could be legit. It's just possible. It's a possible scenario that could be happening, or it could be in a possible flag to the upside. All I know, she's getting ready to go into this Ichimoku green, red cloud, and there's a little sliver of green over there. She's showing some nice signs of trying to recover here on the daily. Let's come over to the 4 hour. 4 hours saying she's showing some signs of needing to chill out. That she might want to come down here and look, shoulder, head and shoulder, and come down and test this trend line here. So from there to here, 86% gains possible. That's an interesting one to look at. All right, I'm losing some people. Now we got 19 people. Massive coronal hole ejections coming from the sun last week. Oh, really? You can do it, road dog. Hey, Bobby Yaz, what's it going? How's it going? Beyond the illusion 33 aerodrome. Will it pump again? Let's take a look. Let's mix it up a little bit. Been doing mostly these meme coins. This is a meme coin stream after we got past our 30 minutes of complaining about the market in general, whether Bitcoin's going to pump or dump. That's nice. I like that. Which gives us this idea that it could be retesting that and could be bouncing up. So that's cool. Higher high. You add an area, you need to chill the freak out though, because we got that. So are you going to pull back or not?
Crypto comedy in my digital dreams. Living for the moon, or so it seems. Then I found Road Dog with the turkey beak, showing pivot targets every freaking week. This dark wizard with this Fibonacci, turning losses into a mint with panache. Turkey mask on and a laugh so loud. Finally profits making me so proud. Gurus charge me down.
Okay. So she looks ballsy right now, and that looks pretty cool. Don't get it twisted. It's another idea right here. This is what I think is a little bit more apparent. So if we look at this idea, that's technically a bearish pattern, but she could be coming back down to retest 52.5 cents. She could be finding support here and try to bounce up. It could. A target about 71 cents could be coming if we want to go up a little bit higher. What do you say over here? 4 hours talking like she might want to do it. What do you say, RSI? Are you ready to do something? She may have lost it on RSI though. She's struggling with it. She could get it back. But technically, she's lost it. You gotta give me a minute here, see what she's trying to do. She's trying to make a move, isn't she? It looks to me like she's trying to retest this area over here, 67, maybe come up to 71. It can happen, but she is at areas of resistance just from her local fib pools. If she breaks the pattern, I would look for her to come down and possibly even touch the bottom of this trend line. Are you going to do it? She looks like she might have a little bit more gas in her tank. I'm just going to say. But when she finally figures out what she's going to, she maybe just going to double top over here and come back. That could be a scenario. But I don't want to take these other guys off the target. We'll put one or other target at 82 cents over here as a possible. So short term, I'm just looking at these little guys. There should be some resistance. The moving averages they're still bearish, so they still got that. But she's trying to flip around, so she'll need to consolidate through here a little bit. So there will be some up and downs, in my personal opinion. And what do we got? Yeah, this is going to be an issue here. This big trend line. It's going to be. I would look for us to definitely come up and retest that guy. So that's around 79.80 cents. So we probably will try to go up there. That's around the 4 hour. I would say it's got a chance to go. She needs to retest that area and see what she's going to do. More than likely, she's going to get rejected there and then fumble around and then try to break up. Got to get these moving averages to kind of reset and kind of start regaining and flipping over on one another, and it takes some up and downs to do that. Let's see who else. Oh, I had Peppy. Let's take a look at Peppy. Peppy, you look like you got a bottom. You got a W pattern. You hadn't quite cleared it just yet. You still got some work to do, but that's cool, Peppy. So we had like is that a breakout? We called it a breakout. Yeah. Got volume on it? No. Can we still call it a breakout? I don't know. She's trying. She is trying. So a little W pattern right there. That's cool. Trend line. That's holding. That's cool. As long as you hold the trend line, we're cool. She looks like she's trying to make a little top pattern. Something reminiscent of a head and shoulder or like a little king's crown or something like that. King's crown is not an actual pattern, but that's just what sometimes these things look like. And sometimes they can look like they're going to drop and then they don't. The trend lines will help you navigate that little guy. She did come up and make a higher high. Peppy. Let's add us one more little target that she might get to. So we got any more stuff coming from these guys? Are you getting ready to do something? Are you coming down? Now you're starting to look like Bitcoin accumulating at this area of resistance over here. Overall, I mean, the momentum looks good. She might be able to bounce from here and home on Peppy. That would be cool. If Peppy does, then we could be going to the 1020 or 1069 area. From where we are now, what would that be? Another 13-20% gains there. And then maybe Peppy can eventually come back over here to these areas over time. She did make a lower low, but respecting this area down here. That's good. Measure move from this W pattern. That would be probably a good thing to look at. Should take us up to about all those zeros and 1258. I'll put the measure move up there. Oh my gosh, we've been going for 2 hours and people are starting to dwindle off here, and I think I am too. Here we are on the 12 hour for Peppy, and I know it looks like she can get some support, and she might. We're at a 200 moving average. There should be some rejection coming there, and there can be. Either we lose the trend line, and then that's what she wrote, and we start coming down. That could happen. We might get one more hump. Remember, a general rule of thumb is three pumps and then a dump. General rule, not every time. We can turn on Elliott Wave and see what he says. Elliott thinks he's got another hump in coming to a third wave, so she might be going a little higher there. But for right now, over the next little bit, she's flipping a little bearish on this on the MACD, so keep your eye on that one. As bearish as it gets, may just become dropping down to the bottom of the trend line and then bouncing up. So it all revolves around the trend line. Break the trend line, come lower, more than likely. Bounce off the trend line, going higher. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here. And she just ranging, just staying there, ranging, just ranging. Still above the 9 moving average on the 12 hour. I think it's still kind of hanging out there on the daily, so I can't talk bad about it just yet. I'm wanting to really bad. I want to say, you're going to dump. But she just keeps hanging out here. And will there be that short squeeze that will take us to Valhalla? I don't see it just yet because the 618. And if we were to get it, it would be finding support here, and that would be the signs I would be looking for. If we were to break up above that, if we were to do something bullish on Bitcoin, the signs that I would need to look for, and signs I'd encourage everybody else to look for, would be to retest this area. If we start seeing some retest of this, then okay, well, maybe we are headed to 102 would be our next target. But you might lose that. And if we lose this again, I would be thinking, oh man, we can't hold this $96,000 area. Maybe we're coming down. And we might not even get up there to touch it at all, but it being such an important level, I wouldn't doubt that we could move up there. So I would be skeptical of any higher highs that we get right now, mostly because we got falling volume, or not mostly, but one of the big things was we got falling volume with that rising price on the bigger time frames too. Just an odd is, and we are at areas of intense resistance, so it's a very cautious area just to decide you're going to go full on bullish, because this is the perfect area to trap people. Even breaking above this area just a little bit is still a perfect place to trap you. It'd be like, swing failure pattern. Oh, I got you. Bear trap, bull trap, boom, boom, and bring us down. And don't think that they wouldn't do that. The best way to look is once confirm a change of trend. We're looking for a higher high. We're looking for the next higher low. Wherever that next higher low is, that's where we want to concentrate. Not so much at the higher high. We want the higher low. There's a message that I could drive home that I keep trying to tell you every night. It's that one. I think that one's going to work out a lot better than going in with what the masses are starting to do right now, because the market usually doesn't respect what the masses are saying, and they're starting to get in crypto side saying we're going to Valhalla. It's going to be a squeeze. So be cautious. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and go to the end screen now. We did a lot of meme coins. We did Miro. We should have done Ping. We did Retardio. We did Goat. I didn't check Retardio. We did Bonk. We did Ponky. We did Fog. We did Cock. NU. We did AICXB. We did Ski Mask Dog. We did Peppy. And I think that was it so far. But I still got a lot more we can do. Probably do some of those tomorrow night too, as well as some other coins. But I do think there's an opportunity there for wait and get the good entries. We saw some of them that look, you know, they were down in a rounded bottom or down where they're just now starting to show signs of changing trend. And you know, like they could come back a little bit over the next few days. There are some good places, especially Miro. I'm really liking Miro being in a good place to accumulate where we could see some gains there. So I want to pass up those opportunities, especially, you know, there's something to be said about Degens out there. You can make your money, just don't go all in on it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I will see you on the next one. Let's go to the end screen. Let's see, Joe, are you still on here? Are you going very tired, not feeling well, you guys? No, you're not streaming tonight? Okay. I just want to make sure, let everybody know if you were going to stream tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out. Blowfin! Even says Solana and BNB. Solana was hanging out pretty good. Oh, I missed one. Tochi and Snack. I'll put them on. I will try to get those. I'll probably do a stream tomorrow or tomorrow night. Maybe do one during tomorrow day. Let me put some of these guys on here because I'm trying to get some of the most popular meme coins to look at. They will make a. They'll do fine. They'll get people buying in on them. So we did. I did do Toshi though. I did. Didn't I? Maybe I didn't. I did last night. Snack. BTC Bull. I'm not familiar with that one. We'll put it on here. So I'll put these on the list for tomorrow. Call please. It's a multiple chain project. Sorry about that, Ava. I didn't see that in the chat. It's on the base and Solana. CAW. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Sometimes I think I get too far on those little rants and things. Or I get lost in the charts too much, but Bitcoin, what are you doing? Are you headed back to 95? She's still not doing good, making higher highs yet. That was a level right there. She didn't make a higher high at all. She is still in technically working on a downtrend. And Bitcoin, I don't know if we didn't point this out on the 6-minute trend line right there. You see that trend line right there? Come back up, reject off of that, and then could be looking for a lower low. That's what I'm looking for Bitcoin here, short term, as she's consolidating with lower lows, meaning the bulls aren't there yet to push up for that higher high. All right, we're gonna say our final goodbyes here. Appreciate you guys. And good night, John boy. We get the little doggy to wave, and see you guys tomorrow. God bless you.